Since the collapse of Champlain Tower South in 2021, National Reserve Study standards were updated. Although the previous standards were sufficient, we all felt the need to do more to promote wise decision-making among both reserve study providers and the board members nationwide. Follow along for a brief summary of what was changed and why.
All right, now it's time to change topics to how the process of preparing reserve studies has changed since Champlain Tower South. Now, I know you're not in the reserve study business. We're the ones who are in that business, but I thought it would be helpful to you as association decision makers, board members and managers and the industry professionals who tend to join us on these webinars to see what the changes look like from the inside, from our perspective. And it starts with a big picture understanding that it's not all about reserve studies. Reserve studies are just 1/3 of what you need to be doing at your association to get successfully into the future. Taking care of your physical and financial assets involves ongoing preventive maintenance, all the little things around the association that take care of the place. The reserve planning that gets you the budget to do your major projects, and then the infrastructure inspections, the less frequent inspections by a structural engineer or an architect to help reveal how the bones of the association are doing, those design-built elements and how they are doing at the association. So you need to see the planning for the future, that reserves indeed is just one part of it all. And with respect to the reserve study itself, what we're talking about in the updated reserve study standards, they're updated just last year based on all these changes. What we're talking about with reserve components are actual projects. They don't have to be tangible things. So it may be an elevator load test, an expensive elevator load test. It may be a roof inspection. It may be a subject matter expert reports, but these things are going to be appearing as components in your reserve study. And major maintenance is now part of what can be a reserve component. If it's common area, if it's reasonably predictable, like a cooler rebuild, a chiller rebuild, and above a significant cost, you can see how major maintenance can be a reserve component. And also corrective maintenance or repairs. We want associations to be able to tap into their reserve fund to do what needs to be done to fix things at the association. And then we've opened the door to long life components. There tended to be a soft limit or a window to reserve projects to only the first 30 years. And that's gone away now. There's a full embracing of what we call long life projects. Maybe something like a seawall or a boat ramp or maybe a new elevator technology or a roof material that is expected to have a design life over 30 years. It's now appropriate to fund for those through reserves. And also subject matter expert reports. Typically this is the structural engineer, the infrastructure report, but sometimes it could be, in some cases, even as small as a reserve study. But those things are getting dialed into the reserve study or the reserve component list. And so bottom line is expect your component list to be longer than before. And something else that has changed is the best practice is that an on-site based reserve study is recommended to be done at least every third year. And that's why I highlighted that a couple of slides ago, talking about updates. And this is where you dial in the no site visit update in between those to keep track about prices and the size of your reserve fund, the strength of your reserve fund, how the recommendation needs to be adjusted in light of that, and in light of things like the higher interest that you're probably getting at this point in time compared to 5 years ago. So make sure you're using updates appropriately and effectively. And that's all because things have changed. I show some pictures here of technologies that at one point in time were the coolest things. Wireless phones, mobile phones, the old monochrome monitors, pagers, things like that were at one point in time, they served us well. And even clothing styles or carpet lengths or furniture in the clubhouse. Styles come and go, technology comes and go. So think about reserve studies being perishable assets. They quickly use their usefulness. They're good for a year. After that, you start to be really stretching things.
At Association Reserves, we make the present less stressful and the future more secure. If you want to join us in this mission, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see us address in a future video. Let's plan for your best future.